My name is Heather Kerner, and I am founder of the Good Crust. And I'm in the studio today with the Farm to Seed to School program, showing you some things that you can make very easy for school nutrition menus that will be kid-friendly and please a crowd. We're going to start today with a garlic Pazzo bread. And this recipe is taken from Healthy School Recipes online. And it has some very simple ingredients, which just include a ready-bake frozen pizza crust, cheese, and garlic with a little bit of olive oil. So let's get started. Today we're using the Good Crust, which is special in that it is a small batch artisan pizza dough made with the grains from Maine. And we've pre-thawed our pizza dough. You can do this very easily by putting frozen pizza dough balls in your walk-in cooler overnight, or simply bringing them out in the morning on a sheet tray and letting them thaw in the kitchen while you're prepping your breakfast service, and it will be ready by lunch. We're simply going to take our dough ball, we're going to flatten it a little bit and prepare it for stretching. And right here I have a little bit of whole grain flour. We're going to dip it in so that it's not too sticky as we stretch our dough. And we're just going to simply open up the pizza dough the way you would in your normal process. And it's fine if you use a sheeter machine, and it's also fine if your school nutrition staff prefer to stretch their dough by hand. I prefer to stretch mine by hand because the freshly milled grains in the Good Crust make it a little more relaxed and easily stretched than a traditional white pizza dough ball. You're going to find that when it's thawed, it is not going to be tight and difficult to open. You can see that just the warmth of my hand is just opening that pizza dough right up while we're chatting. This is a 16-ounce pizza dough ball, which will open up into a 16-inch large pizza or Pazzo bread. This is a great choice for school nutrition because it's a 1-to-1 ratio between the whole grains available in the Good Crust and the whole grain, or ounces and whole grain requirements for school nutrition programs. So a 16-ounce dough ball will give you 16 units of whole grain. So we are going to just lightly oil our pan, our sheet pan, to keep that Pazzo bread from sticking. And you can make your Pazzo bread in whatever size or shape you like. You can stretch this dough into a more rectangle shape, but today we're going to leave it nice and round. And we're simply going to lay it on half of your full-size sheet tray. It's really helpful for me to visit you all in your kitchens because I'm sensitive to efficiency. You're crunched for time oftentimes, and you really need to pump out your food service. And I think anything we can do to make your jobs a little bit easier and to get the most servings out of one single shelf in your oven is a really smart move. So I'm going to demonstrate how you can do 2 Pazzo breads on one sheet pan. I'm going to stretch the other one. And you can see how quickly this opens right up. Some recipes for Pazzo bread might call for a pre-flavored garlic oil. Today, we're just going to use the freshest ingredients available from the garden. I'm a homestead gardener myself, and we just finished harvesting our scapes and making some coarse garlic scape pesto. So we're going to use that for our flavor today. You can use chopped garlic cloves, or you can certainly simply use a garlic olive oil. There we have it. So we have 2 pizza dough balls stretched right out on the pan. And I'm going to just lightly brush a little olive oil on the crust for flavor and to give it a nice crisp edge. Now our recipe just calls for standard mozzarella frozen shredded cheese. For the sake of demonstration, I'm not going to measure it today, but certainly under your needs and constraints, you would put the number of ounces of cheese that you're hoping to get per serving. Again, there's 16 ounces of whole grain in one pizza dough ball, which means if you're hoping for about 2 ounces of whole grain per student, we'll cut this in 8 portions of the Pazzo bread. So you can also figure that out for your cheese requirement. I'm just going to lightly sprinkle our mozzarella cheese on our Pazzo bread. Cheese is one of your most expensive ingredients, so it's a great thing to train your staff to make sure all of it lands on your dough round, not a lot on the pan. We have plenty to work with today, so I'll use it right up. So simple. And from there, I want to show you this fresh garlic scape pesto that we're going to use. Not all children's palates are going to tolerate a lot of garlic, so I'm going to go easy here. But we're just going to spread it like a little bit of a flaked topping on the top of our garlic Pazzo bread. And if you were here in the kitchen with us, you would smell the strong garlic flavor. It smells really delicious. In my kitchen, as soon as the garlic hits the pan, the kids come looking for what's for dinner. This will be great served with a side of some marinara sauce. You could certainly top this Pazzo bread with some broiled zucchini or little flakes of kale, anything you might be trying to feature from your school garden program. That would look lovely on a Pazzo bread as well. And finally, I'm going to finish it off with just a little sprinkle of kosher sea salt, nice coarse salt, so that you get that bite of flavor. And we've preheated our oven. I like to bake the good crust nice and hot, so we'll look for a temperature of at least 450 to 475. If you have a lot of traffic in and out of your school ovens during peak meal times, go ahead and crank that temperature right up to make sure that you get a nice hot oven spring in your dough. The hotter the oven, the more that yeast wants to poof right up and make a nice light dough for you, or crust for you. And there we have garlic Pazzo bread ready for the oven.